The way to get to Carnegie Hall is practice, practice, practice. Steve Johnson will be competing at the Chicago Fit Expo, and he's done some great off-season base building work, and it possesses an extreme amount of muscle hypertrophy now. He's increased tremendously, so his body weight's fluctuating between 305 to 310, and his body fat is 14% via a DEXA scan. So his visible abs. So it's funny because a lot of people will claim, their body fats. They hold some device at the gym that the snake oil salesman's trying to, sell them and claim they're 8% body fat, but they get a DEXA scan, they're 22. This is 14% via a DEXA scan. So if you want more information on what that means, just type it on YouTube. You'll see other people when they get scans and stuff and what exactly that would look like on someone smaller. He's 305 to 310. So he's going to get ready. He's getting in wraps this week. And, the great offseason set this up. And, Steve's put in the work. Steve's the kind of guy that when you're sitting down, the dive bar in Juarez and the quote-unquote local neighborhood watch comes to shake down the owner, the Tejano band playing comes to a screeching halt, the door gets locked, and the crap's about to get the fan. Steve Johnson is exactly the kind of guy that you want right by your side that would not be looking for the back door. He would have your back. This man is an animal. He puts in the work, and it's going to be so exciting to see what he does this year. Because here's the thing, Steve will also be doing the tribute meet. So here's the thing about Steve too, is obviously as an American record in the deadlift, as we say, Shiner box of beer drinkers beer, ribeye is a steak eater's steak, and Steve Johnson's the deadlifter's deadlifter. However, he is not just a deadlifter, even though he has a 909 American record. He's also a great 3-lift lifter, and I'm predicting 2,400 pounds this year. A lot of people thought I was crazy when I called out the 900 slightly when his PR was 854 in a meet, and he did it. So there you go. Got used to the wraps. Put him on there. There's a good cue to learn, or not cue, but a good thing to learn right there is if you are squatting in wraps. Well, hold on. Let's see how he does with his 640 for 3 reps here. Steve's always somebody that lifts a lot more in meets too. Good solid walkout. Not taking a stroll around the park. Just pick it up, let it settle, and a very deliberate walkout. No doubt on depth. Oh yeah, all day and twice on Sunday. Okay. The second rep, beautiful. So very good here because here's what we're after. Because here's the thing is he hasn't been in wraps for quite a while. And we need to get him used to it so he can really utilize that rebound because someone like Steve is going to lean a little more forward, has longer legs and whatnot. If we can get him to get a little more elastic and get that spring out of the bottom. Been doing 1 1/4 squats and things like that have also helped with that. But anyways, as you see, so we're starting. This is really good because some of the issues he's had in the past is different squats, reps looking different. And we want this. We're trying to build the skill of strength over and over and over, so grease the groove. So he's hitting the good depth, the exact same depth every single time, because if one rep passes, the next is buried, the next is an inch high. We're not really building any sort of motor pattern, and he is definitely building a motor pattern, and even as an advanced lister, this can be huge for him. But anyway, so notice how Steve put on the wraps at 595. I would highly suggest that because you need to get just to get more used to the wraps, and then for this particular session, especially if you haven't been in wraps in a long time. So I would say you definitely want to wear your wraps on your last warm-up right there. At a powerlifting meet, I would wear your wraps on your last warm-up. So that's something I learned actually is doing my best squatting. I would never wear my wraps in warm-up. So it became more of an ego thing where I just, I'm going to show I can, I'm going to open up at 825, but I'm going to show 765 with no wraps is no problem. But at the end of the day, who the hell cares? If that was the objective, why was I even wearing wraps? It was being very stupid, and I can learn from that and pass it on to everybody listening to this. So Steve's building that motor pattern, looking really good. So with Steve, we're gonna that's something really important here is to get that down because consistency is gonna be the biggest thing for him. So once he got his deadlift dialed in like that, where every single rep looked the same, he found a very good technique. He does a dead stop deadlift, but it's a very brief reset, worked perfectly. So these are dead squats. I'm going 455 for 6 sets of 1, doing 1 set every 30 seconds. Next week we're going to down a little bit lower. However, these are very good for somebody, with longer legs like this, taller. What we want to do is actually set it a little bit higher. We generally a little lower than this, but think about it. The only advantage a tall man has in a squat is a longer eccentric portion of that lift. So you're not going to, if assuming you have a good motor pattern developed and you're just slightly elastic, you're going to get a pretty decent rebound on the bottom after that long eccentrics. Going to pop you out a few inches out of the hole, and then you're going to get stuck there, because a lot of times people discuss the strength curve of the squat, saying it's the absolute hardest at the bottom, and I've been guilty of that myself, but that's actually not true unless it's a dead squat. So if you set up a dead squat, the lower you go, the more disadvantageous position you're in mechanically, because nothing's pushing you down there. Well, if you're starting dead weight, that's the case. So it's the lowest part of the squat's going to be the most difficult. But the taller you are, the less that's the case, assuming you're doing a regular squat with an elastic component here. So anyways, after that, went on to the one-arm cable rows. Went 5 sets of 12 each side, 90-second break. The squat today was about an RP7, so that gives them, in the scale I use, gives them about 3 to 5 reps in the tank, because I assign them what weight to do. They need to report back to me how it felt. Now I'll put that at about a 7, meaning minimally 3 in the tank, possibly up to 5. Went to 5 sets of 12 here in the one-arm cable rows. And these, the weight's not real important on these, because, everybody lifts weights here knows, you go to one gym and doing a seated row with 80 pounds, you're like, it feels like someone's got a gun to your head to do 2 reps. And, at another gym, the whole stack that weighs 350 over had 45s and doing 20 reps. So the 140 is not a super important number, but that's what it is at this gym. And Steve's back strengths coming up is not only just helped his deadlift lockout, deadlift positioning, it's also helped the weight feel a lot lighter on his back when he squats. So that's the thing with Steve, is his strength remains his strength, the deadlift, and it's continuing to go up. However, his bench press I think his bench press will be the biggest shock, and we will bring you definitely some bench press footage, because a lot of people that are built to deadlift, obviously don't have the leverages that are, to build a huge bench press, but Steve is not letting that stand in his way. Steve, I mean, put it this way, I wouldn't be, if he bench pressed 600 this year, I would not be totally surprised. So we're going leg curls next, and what he's going here is 180 pounds for 4 sets of 5 reps. We like to get a little knee flexion in, because we get so much hip extension hamstring work in, and like to generally keep the reps a little bit lower on these, because the hamstrings do real well because of their with lower reps, because of their more fast twitch dominance. And looking solid here, and finishing off with some good side planks. So good way to finish off the workout and keep that core strong and stable. So if you're in the Chicago area, definitely make sure you look up Steve's gym. It's called the Chicago Barbell Compound. If you're not following on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. He goes by the Forsaken Warrior there. Very good posts, very good content, good clothing line too. Some cool shirts out. I didn't even know about some of them until I saw people wearing them at the meet. Very cool shirts. Just an all around good guy. Very good, just a very good person. Obviously his lifting speaks for itself. And finishing off here, so thanks for all you do, Steve. And in the words of Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra, the best is yet to come. You guys thought I was going to say, in the words of Frank Sinatra, a kick out of you. No, really, just the best is yet to come. So make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it. And make sure you're subscribed, and we will bring you other facets of Steve's training, including his bench press, which has gone crazy lately, and we could be looking at 600 And squat, there is no telling. The only problem with this is when we post this video and his training, we may get a mass exodus out of some of these meets because, because his lifts are pretty high. Good job, Steve.